Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, March 29th, 2013. Well, break out the party hats. New highs, all-time highs on the Dow and the S&P 500. I watched mainstream media, I watched all the financial channels. You know, they really didn't bring up the fact that the Federal Reserve is printing $85 billion a month. There is no way that we hit all-time highs with the Fed not printing, buying mortgage-backed securities, sour debt, the mistakes of bankers, and not buying $45 billion in treasuries. It's $85 billion together. Maybe that's why some of the commentators, and I was shocked by this, people like Bob Pisani, Rick Santelli, they described the market by using the word creepy. Yes, couldn't believe it, that the new highs are creepy. Now, maybe that's because trading volume is very, very light, muted. One of the traders was talking about how the volume is really muted. In other words, not very much there. That the market is basically pumped up, contrived, shot up on steroids, to bring up a phrase by Rick Santelli on CNBC. Also, we may have gotten to some new market highs because people are afraid over in Europe and they're running to the United States. And, the United States is the cleanest dirty shirt in the hamper. 10-year treasuries went down to about 1.85% or so, 1.85% for 10-year money. But most of it, make no mistake, is the Fed money printing. The economy would collapse without it. Legendary investor Jim Rogers, he's not buying into the U.S. market. No way. No, he mentioned the fact that they're printing money like crazy. But I'll tell you, he's worried about this. He's worried about confiscation of bank deposits. He said that people should, quote, run for the hills. That he says, listen, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, which has a Washington, D.C. address. That's an American entity, mostly. Also the EU, a lot of published reports about how the EU will take bank deposits in Spain and Italy and other places in Europe to save the euro. Now, this is a template. So, that should make anybody really nervous who has a bank account. Now, listen to this. If you don't think that this could happen on this side of the pond, well, already in Canada, they've got new guidelines that allow the bankers up there to take deposits from depositors in the event of another financial meltdown, another systemic failure. Take a look at the United States. I called up the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation this past week, and I walked through it line by line. Hey, listen, here's the headline. We have $10.8 trillion in deposits. $10.8 trillion deposited in American banks. Do you know how big the deposit insurance fund is? Just $33 billion. That's like insuring $10,800 of risk with $33. There is not an insurance commissioner in any state in America that would allow somebody to insure that much risk with that little money. Oh, I know. We have a $100 billion line of credit to the Treasury. $10.8 trillion? $100 billion? Well, what happens if they have to have another systemic failure and they're going to have to print money to bail out the insured deposits? I don't know how many of those $10.8 trillion are insured, but what are they going to have to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to print another trillion or $2 trillion and hand it out to the public? And what effect does that have on the buying power of the dollar? And I got to be responsible here. Not a single entity not a single person has ever lost money in an insured FDIC account. But boy, I hope that old saying, there's a first time for everything, doesn't hold true. They opened up the banks this week in Cyprus. And actually on Thursday. And, everybody learned brand new words, brand new phrase, capital controls. That means your money's here, but you can't take it all out. We only give you a few €100 a day. That's like going to the dry cleaners and you having 10 shirts there and saying, hey, I'd like to pick up my 10 shirts. And they say, yeah, you can only have one. And the capital controls are going to last for a while. What happens when the capital controls come off? You think these people still have faith in the banking system? So let me get this straight. You have my money, but I can't have it. A lot of folks like Jim Rogers are afraid this is going to sweep across Europe and right over to the United States, and he's worried about it. He's telling people, run for the hills. That's what he's telling people. It's unbelievable. I'll say that again. State of Texas is joining a chorus of people. They're thinking about and probably will ask for their gold back, the Texans, state of Texas. They'll ask for their gold back from the Federal Reserve. You know, the Federal Reserve holds gold for other entities, about 6,000 tons, a little more than 6,000 tons. And other countries like Germany, other entities, countries like Germany and Switzerland, all doing the same thing. The investment banker, famous investment banker who's been on this site, Jim Rickard, says it's not a run on the U.S. government. It's a run on the Federal Reserve's gold holdings. Is the gold there? I have to ask myself, is it really there? And if it is there, are there multiple claims on numbered bars? We shall find out someday. And I hope it's not an ugly picture with, 3, 4, 5 entities saying, oh, no, that's my bar. No, that's my bar. No, that's my bar. I mean, who knows? But it's a sad statement, and it's a scary statement when people start, Federal Reserve, we need our gold back. We need to have our gold back. North Korea. North Korea has been drinking the crazy war Kool-Aid. They've been making all kinds of, incendiary remarks about going to war with the United States, in South Korea. Some of it, talk about nuclear war. Well, the U.S. takes that seriously. A lot of people don't. I consider North Korea like an 8-year-old with a .45 caliber pistol. Is an 8-year-old a good shot with it? No. Doesn't mean the gun can't go off and kill somebody. North Korea is a nuclear-armed country, and the U.S. does take this seriously. They just sent, B-2 stealth bombers that can carry nuclear weapons over to South Korea for training exercises. Now listen, wars can get started by miscalculations and mistakes. Wars can get started by accident. And if a war starts on the Korean Peninsula, I think it goes nuclear in a heartbeat. I hope I'm wrong. Finally, Janet Napolitano at Homeland Security is now being asked by a group of congressmen and women to explain why she's buying millions and millions of rounds of ammunition. And you know what? She's not talking. And I think that sends a chilling message out there. She should talk. She's using taxpayer dollars to buy millions and millions of rounds of hollow point ammunition. And now Congress is asking her, hey, what gives? And she's not talking. And I think that's even scarier than her coming out and making a statement about it. Well, I got to thank everybody for coming on the site. I have to say, I had somebody say this week that, boy, you have really smart people. You know what? I agree. I have some of the smartest people on the internet commenting on the site. Sometimes what they write is better than what I've written. I mean, we've got some smart people on this site. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to comment and support the site. Also, thank the few people that use the donations button. That goes directly to the bottom line of running the site. Thank you for that. And with that, I just want to say, hey, listen, to everybody out there, have a great Easter weekend. I'm Greg Hunter. That's the way I see it. Have a good weekend.